Aloha, buddy. Tell you what, you're going to want to probably go back through the other videos, which is fine. They only take a minute here and there to remember. If you want me to make smaller videos, I can. Otherwise, the concept should be learned in these, and then we could move on to something new. We do chord reviews every time. The chords we've been reviewing are the E major. When we move that up, we get the A minor. We also have a D minor, a D major, and then the A major or the E minor that are based off of those basic chords. So E major, G sharp has a E, G sharp, E, and then when we get rid of the G sharp, we get an E, G, B. Minor, major, minor, major. Try those with secondary fingering groups too. We get really good at doing that. A major has this note, this note, and this note, and then this note is open, meaning we have a flat bar chord going down on it. Not a full bar, just a tiny one. When we drop back the C sharp to a C, we get an A minor. So all of these chords are chords we've worked on, we've been talking about. Here's the D major, keep the D there, flip that back to an F note and an A note, and we get D minor. So flipping between these in both of our fingerings is a great way to get solidified on these chords. The way we taught this was through teeter-totters, meaning if you have one way to play a chord, like a C major, you can take off your first finger, put a second where it was, third, fourth, and then you get the same chord. C major is an extremely hard chord to do like this with the teeter-totter, but if you can, that just means you get the concept of the episode. So with F major is nothing more than a bar chord utilizing the second version of E. When we play A major and scoot it up in bar, we get a B flat major, which is nothing more than an A major, just up a half step. So you see how these are moving up and down the fretboard. I hope you do. Our concept today just takes this to another step. It uses our major third. It puts a seventh note in there and then a seventh note. The first of which seventh notes is going to be a major seventh. It's the one that's naturally found within the key. The second one is going to be the minor second. It's what happens when you flatten that seventh a half step. Just through the eyes of the scale, but we're going to talk about it in a second. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Do. If I weren't to play a B natural and I were to play a B flat, I would hear do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ta, do, which is a completely different scale set. It's called a Mixolydian mode, and it's different than an Ionian mode, a major mode. So at this point, if it's like whoop over the top, this is the type of video you would go back and watch after you get all of your chords done. There are only 7 majors, 7 minors, 7 diminished, 7 augmented, and 7 half diminished, meaning once you learn one chord, chances are it's a type of chord somewhere else. So most of the learning process is just done by you and I chit-chatting about these chords. All right. Other than that, what I want you to do this week is try to work on your major scales. Now, your major scales are going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Starting with the C major, we're going to have our third finger on the C. We're going to play that 4 times. Down, up, down, up. The second time, we're going to play an open D. You guessed it, we're going to be playing 4 notes. Second finger on the second fret for the E. The same finger that played the C is going to be playing the F, right next to it, a half step. It's our naturally occurring half step. Above that's the open G. Then we're going to have an A at the second fret. It's the same fret and the same finger you used to play the E below it, and now you're playing the A. B is going to be an open, and then we have our second half step in a major scale, B to C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The way we practice this is by playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By doing this, we learn how to do alternating picking, and we hear the note in our head. Next time we go through this, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to move up faster. Ready? We're going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this time straight through it so we can get all the way from point A to point B. That's a hard one to go. Don't go too fast. Make sure you're going at your own pace and have fun with this, okay? The other concept that I was talking about, major, major 7, and dominant 7, we're going to see through the eyes of C major and D major. Next week, we're going to reconvene and see if you tried this on your own with any other triads. The triad D major has a D, F sharp, and an A. When I have this D, I also have the low D as well as the high D. That's an octave. La, 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 la. So when we've got the low D, if we move this D to a C sharp, that is one note before D, meaning when we play all 3 of those, we get a different tonal note than a D major. D major, D major 7, D dominant 7. D major uses a D, F sharp, A. D major 7 uses a C sharp, F sharp, A. And D dominant uses an a C, F sharp, and an A. each one of those moves. I hope you like those. In the key of C major, we'd have C major, take off our first finger, C major 7, put back the first finger, and then pinky goes down on the D string. That is incorrect. The G string at the 3rd fret. That makes our C dominant 7. And I know all this information is a little bit over the top, but the concept is all you have to do is work on one little piece at a time. And if I'm doing my job as a facilitator and communicator of education, the questions you have will be more about how do I keep doing this about this way rather than I have no clue what you're talking about. I hope that makes sense. And then lastly, the C major scale will be C on the 3rd fret of the A string. We're gonna play the open D, E at the 2nd. F is gonna be the same finger we use for the C right above it. We're gonna use the open A, then the B, O, B, and then to the C. That is a C major scale. So the concept is when we play along like a there's certain notes that go over it and certain notes that don't. We're going to talk about those next week. Great job this week. I'm very much looking forward to next week. We're going to write our first song together. All right. Aloha.